Hello and welcome to Goss's Garage with me, Pat Goss. Okay, so today I'm going to work on my excavator and I'm going to take you through a couple things that I think are necessary to help it endure a little bit better. So these things are, from what I understand, cheap, and there's a lot of corners cut on them. But one of the big things is the original exhaust. This is removed from mine, a couple of 12mm bolts, and I removed the studs as well by double bolting and backing those out of the head. But today what we're going to try to do is explain what this is for as a problem. It creates a lot of heat right underneath your seat, and then it just radiates in there. So some of the things I tried to do to alleviate that heat was remove the cover. That really did nothing. But secondly, replace this with something else. And I don't know, this is an experiment. We'll see if it works, but this was in here, obviously. If you have one of these cheap Chinese excavators, you probably know what I'm talking about. This model is a VicSec 13, so VC 13, 13 horsepower. This is actually a Rato engine and overhead valve. It's been fine for my purposes. Changed the oil right away like most people do because it comes with mineral oil from China, so that was a blessing in disguise to get that out. Secondly, I put on a oil drain tube to make it a little bit easier. It ends up holding a little bit more oil, but I use that to do the draining. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today is replacing this exhaust with something else, which I think might be a little bit more fun. I have no idea if it'll be louder, but my hopes in this is, for very little money, go with something else that is much simpler, more durable. It won't rust. It's 100% stainless steel, and I have the parts laid out here. But what it will do is hopefully evacuate some of the heat from the engine compartment, which tends to retain heat and boils the fuel and can cause vapor lock. Hasn't happened to me, but if you're using these machines a lot, it could be something that you experience. At least that's what everybody tells me happens to them. This machine probably has, I don't know, 100 hours on it. I personally never experienced any problem with vapor lock yet, but I'm not using it for a business. This is really just for fun stuff around the house and projects and some friends' projects. But anyway, here's what I ordered up. Ordered up a kit off of eBay, and it's meant for the Honda Predator type engines, and the Rato is a copy of those engines, just like the Briggs & Stratton is. Again, this is a 13 horsepower one, and it all begins with emulating the connections that you have here and just going something different. So we won't be using this anymore at all. Let me show you what we're going to replace it with. Number one is a 90-degree elbow. With the flange, it's watered on by the kit manufacturer. At the end of the video, hopefully you stick around and watch this whole thing, but I'll share the links and all that kind of good stuff to get to it with where I bought it. I only have about 80 bucks in parts for this entire thing, so that might sound a little bit expensive for this type of machine, but I don't know. It seemed to be what I wanted to do and what I wanted to try out. So anyway, that's where things begin. That'll go right off the block here. After that, I have an extension, and that just goes simply into this. This is all 1 MPT, 1-inch MPT pipe thread, normal pipe thread, and this is what I'm going to build. Something like this. Gonna use this other piece. This is 6 inches long. Well, maybe. And then another elbow, second elbow, and then finally the muffler. Now, if you're with me, this is what everything looks like. And this is what we're going to be shooting for. But what we're going to be going for, wind's blowing over my camera. Okay, let's try again. All right, so this is what we're going for. And then what I like about this is it has a rain flapper, which will go up here, keep the moisture out when it's parked and idle, and won't let any of that water get down into your engine through the exhaust exit. So anyway, once all assembled and fully torqued down and bottomed out on the threads, this is what will look like. And it should reside, if you're with me, kind of like this. And hopefully, if everything works well, I'll be able to position that in a manner which it won't come in contact with the frame, and will also allow for that flap to work freely and not vibrate. One thing I am concerned about already is the weight of this. It's not real heavy, but when you think about the weight that's exposed on those two bolts that are going to thread into the head, that could be a lot. Not sure how I'm going to deal with that yet, but it'll probably involve some sort of clamp to the bodywork or some bracket to the engine to help support that weight. So I'm going to leave this dry assembled here on the bench and explain a couple of the pieces of the hardware. What comes in the kit is a gasket. Boom. 2 stainless bolts with lock washers. These are, in case you're interested, you're going to fab this up yourself. These are 8 millimeter by 1.25 thread. And just so you know, that's what's in the head of this Rato engine. Keep in mind, when I was searching for this, I did not search for Rato engine exhaust. I searched for Honda Predator GSX series motors, and this is what I found. I took a bit of a gamble to see if it would fit, but I know from pre-wiring this up, pre-testing this, test fitting before this video, that it works 100%. So what I'm going to do now is probably just explain some of the tools that are needed. Number one, to remove your old exhaust, 2 simple bolts, just these right here. Lube them up with parts blaster, wire brush them, heat them. They're probably going to be a little bit difficult to get off, but it's a 12 millimeter. Probably go with a 6-point, I'd recommend, and a breaker bar to get those off. Hopefully they thread out of the block, because you'll be putting this new flange in into the block through the header with these bolts as opposed to studs. So these bolts themselves, as I said, will repeat, 8 millimeter by 1.25 thread pitch, and to install them is a 6 millimeter Allen. To adjust this and attach this exhaust flapper, there's just a bolt here, and that's simply going to be what we use, and that is a 13 millimeter. So I'm going to hit pause on the video and we'll come back after I have this assembled. I am also going to use for this a bit of exhaust pipe sealant on the threads. So instead of bore you with that, I'm going to do that off camera and then come back with this fully assembled. And what we'll do is we'll just pause for now, and then I'll show you the installation. And hopefully, if this battery's still charged up, we'll do a fire and see what it sounds like. So see you in a few.